Hi all. So I've been creating a lot of video content recently, and I know that some people would prefer some articles. I prefer to create these sort of raw demo videos, but it got me thinking, how can I automate this process a bit and turn this video content into an article, or at least a first draft of an article quickly, that will speed up my publishing process? Uh, with that, I started thinking about using Cloudinary as a digital asset management tool for videos. Mostly that came to my mind because that has an auto transcription feature. And if I could take that automatic transcript, run it through some AI workflow, and create a first draft using Kontent.ai's MCP server in my CMS, that would expedite that process of me turning video content into article content pretty drastically. So I went ahead and drafted up a little flow diagram that should capture this screen share, this demo and its function. And let's walk through it. So effectively, I'm using Cloudinary to upload my video and create my transcript based off of a metadata trigger in Cloudinary and a media flow in Cloudinary. We kick off a tool called Retool, which I'm going to use to connect that data from Cloudinary to an AI agent in the Kontent.ai MCP server. So in Retool, we'll invoke an agent that then processes that transcript with the intent of creating it into a first draft of an article. It'll upsert the video and article on Kontent.ai, my CMS, and the CMS will deliver that content over API to my front-end application. So in Retool, I do need to use the Cloudinary API to fetch the transcripts data, and in Retool, we'll also clean that data to make sure I'm not wasting LLM tokens or requests or processing power on some metadata that I don't actually need for creating the draft of the article. So this is the general flow here, and we'll start jumping into each of these nodes and take a closer look now. So right now, this is my front-end application that will eventually have an article and a video that's created from our AI facilitated workflow. And we have an asset in Kontent.ai right now that is a video asset of something that I recorded previously. And if I go into the Video Player Studio, you can see with this asset, video asset in Cloudinary, there's a transcript editor. This transcript editor, you can come in here, manually change or remove some of these elements of the transcript. And what's really nice about Cloudinary is when you have a new asset uploaded to Cloudinary, you can auto-generate the transcript. So if I were to click this, it would take a few moments and actually generate a transcript from what I'm saying in the video, which is what I've done with this other asset here. So with this, we're going to kick off a media flow that exists within Cloudinary. So I've been testing this in the past, so that had said ready for content. We're just going to take it through the steps. I'll say it's in progress. And let's say I'm a video team, and now I've edited the transcript and put captions and put tags on this video, and it's ready to go. What I would do is go to that structured metadata, and I'm going to set it to this ready for content.ai step. What this will do is this will kick off a media flow in Cloudinary that I've set up. And the media flow is looking for that structured metadata change going to that ready for content.ai step. It's going to send an HTTP request to my workflow in Retool, and it's going to wait for the results. If it's successful, it'll then update that structured metadata from ready for content.ai to added to content.ai. That way, my video content team knows that the asset is in content.ai and we don't need to kick off the workflow again. So let's take a look at the live logs. We had a fail earlier. We can see that we've kicked off another run on this prod node, and it should be reaching out to the Retool flow. So let's take a look at the flow in Retool. This is Retool. You can set up some drag and drop nodes, and I've got them all collapsed right now because there's some, logic and keys and REST endpoints. And, I would suggest if this were a production project to use more secure storage than passing some of these keys right in the URL. But this is just for the sake of the demonstration, and I'm going to rotate these keys after this video anyways. So we have a start trigger. Our media flow is connected to it in that HTTP request. It's then going to come over to this get transcript resource, which is going to call the Cloudinary API to get that transcript. When it fetches the transcript, I actually separate this out into a separate node. I grab the secure URL of that transcript file so I can use it in subsequent steps. And you can see in the Retool steps, you can use bracket notation to add some JavaScript or return values that come from the output of previous steps. After we get the URL of the transcript, I'm going to decode and clean the content. Cloudinary returns base 64 encoded transcript files from our previous call. So we need to use some JavaScript to decode that, parse that. And also I'm cleaning it up by getting rid of some attributes that exist in the transcript file that won't really be helpful for my AI agent when it's creating the draft content. So for example, if I pull some of that up, this is just a raw transcript file, and it has a lot of decorating attributes like where particular words occur in the transcript, their language, their alternatives, the confidence level in which word is actually being said at any given time. I want to get rid of all of that to try and save on some request tokens, processing power, and try to keep it relevant for my agent. Next in Retool, you can set up agents. So here I have invoke my content agent. And if we take a closer look there and take a look at the agent configuration, you'll see that I've created an agent that has some writing rules, some context about what I'm looking for, Claude to perform. So I have the instructions here. There's some formatting requirements. I've selected Claude Sonnet 4 as the model I want to use. And then I've also connected this to the Kontent.ai MCP server. That way, in our little diagram, I can make this connection here, and whatever Claude produces for a first draft, I can push it into my CMS. So this is the agent. They have some pretty good documentation in the Retool docs about invoking an agent. They also talk about polling the agent for results. So if the agent takes a while, you might want to poll to see if it's pending or if it's completed. So you can give a callback, to Cloudinary to say, hey, it's done. Now go update the metadata. And we've actually done that in a step here, poll agent for completion. Again, I won't go through this script entirely. Most of this is taken right out of the documentation from Retool and how to set up a multi-step function and how to create polling with your agent. And once it's done, it will return a status, or I'll throw an error if that occurs at any point in this flow. We're going to check to see how it is going right now, because we did actually kick off this workflow while I've been explaining all the elements of it. And it looks like it's still pending right now. And we will check in on that in a bit. We can also take a look in Kontent.ai to see what has been happening here. And just to lay of the land, this is the content listing. And what I would expect is once this agent is done using the MCP server, and it looks like it's actually already making progress, we're going to see a new article and a new piece of video content in the CMS. So if we take a look at this video, you can see it filled out all of these attributes, all of these elements on my video content, and it gave me a Cloudinary sample URL. In my front-end application, I'm using the Cloudinary embed to embed a video player that takes in this ID from Cloudinary and renders the appropriate video that coordinates with it. So this is sort of the primary key for that video resource that I have in Cloudinary. And if we actually check out what it's used in, you can see that the other content item, which is an article that was created, streamlining content request workflows, this is that first draft article that the agent has created and upserted using the Kontent.ai MCP server. So it has a nicely written introduction here about streamlining content request workflows, which in fact is what the video is about. It's connected to that video content item that I just showed. It picked an image asset, I'd probably correct this, make this into something different in my review step, my human in the loop on reviewing this article content. And then I take a look at the actual contents here that it created, and it gives me a solution overview, building the content request foundation, connecting Asana for orchestration, automating with N8N and AI agents, leveraging the MCP server, quality control and human oversight, and quite a lot of sections that I talked about in that previous video. So this did a pretty good job of capturing what I wanted to say. I would definitely want to check out things like percentages, because I don't recall talking about any percentages then. But this gives me somewhere to start in taking that video content and creating an article out of it. So finally, let's take a look at how it rendered on my little front end application here. And we have, this video is now available in my listing. And if I read more, it's available here as well. Again, this is just a Cloudinary embed. They have snippets in the Cloudinary documentation of how you can get this to work in a React application. I just followed that documentation in my front end app and embedded this video. And if we take a look down, all of that content from the article is rendered here. So I effectively have my first draft. And all I really did as an action step is I went into this video asset that has a transcript associated with it and kicked off my workflow. So fingers crossed, I reload this video asset and it changed the workflow to added to Kontent.ai. So my workflow has been completed. My first draft is ready, and we've flagged the video asset in the originating system with a piece of metadata that says, hey, I'm already in Kontent.ai. You don't have to worry about me anymore. You can move on to the next asset that you want to generate a first draft for. So this was a really high level look at how we can take a Cloudinary media flow and how we can connect it with an AI agent and an AI workflow within Retool. If this was interesting, or if there are some details you would like, leave a message in the comments. If you want to see something similar with different technologies, let me know. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, and I will probably be using this workflow in my actual work to take some of this video content and turn it into more scalable article content in the future. Thanks.